Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab and the United Guns of America YouTube channels. Tonight, we will be talking about gun control. We're going to be talking about the new gun laws. We're going to be talking about gun rights. We're going to be talking about what people are saying, what people are doing, what Congress is saying, what Congress is doing. And hey, we're going to talk about the Second Amendment. So sit back, relax, click the like button, click the subscribe button. Let's share the show, and we are on.
Yeah. I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers. I don't know what you're doing. I want you to get your mouse. I want you to check me out. And I want you to check me out. Get ready to do this. It's the Relationship Rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Hit subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the Relationship Rehab. Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things, you know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go. To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you, telling you. What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab, and I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff, anything that's happening. I'm willing to have a conversation about it, so come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.
Peace, and I'm out. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Edmund. He said, your intro song has grown on me. That's what I want to do. I'm trying to get into your mind. I want to be up in here, anime. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's dive right into the show. We're going to go ahead and start it off with my favorite part of the show.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC.
What up, Illa Dre, Jed Mook, Tiger Blue 7, Edmund Carter, Sylvester M, what's happening? Jared Bennett, what's up? And C Mims, what's happening? Over on the United Guns of America, I got Edmund Carter over there again. I appreciate you, salute. And I got CJ Gunn, my mod. That's what's happening. Let me do that pin. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. Pin that to the chat. All right, guys. So, gun control, gun laws, Second Amendment, gun rights. It has been a hell of a past, maybe 2-3 months? Yeah, about 3 months. And I guess my biggest thing with this is the ignorance factor. I think that's the biggest problem that we have with this. There is such a tremendous, well, it's two. It's the ignorance factor where people just don't know. They're just not aware, not informed. And then the other piece is so many people when it comes to guns, and I don't know why it's like this, but they are so into their feelings and their feelings of not just how they feel about it, but their feelings on what they think you should have. And that is so, I'm wired to the point now that I can't go for that. I can't even understand that. That's where I'm at with it. Anytime somebody wants to tell me that they can tell me what's best for me because of how they feel, I have no real way to even begin to understand that point of view. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people think that they should decide not what they want to do with their guns or if they choose to have a gun or not. No. We're going to tell you what you should be able to have, what you should be able to carry, what you should be able to buy, and it's just because of how we feel. Ain't no numbers to this, and there's no numbers to any of this. There's no facts to any of this. All they're saying is that people are dying, so we should ban it all. And that to me is you must be a really low functioning human being to just be on board with this and not have any facts. If somebody told me, let me tell you something that I just don't care about. I don't give like two shits about. I don't give a shit about crocheting. I'm not a crocheter. Knit one, curl two. What's the other one? It's crocheting and knitting. I think that's the other one. I don't care. I don't care about it. I don't do it. And yes, I have a couple of blankets that my mama has crocheted for me personally. They are near and dear to my heart, and I'm holding on to them forever. I love them. Thank you, mama. But I don't give a shit about crocheting. I'm not on board with anybody trying to get me to vote, comment, talk about how many needles somebody should have, how much yarn somebody should be able to buy, because I don't care about it. It has nothing to do with me. If people were dying from crocheting accidents, I would not give a shit because I don't do it. And I don't feel that it's my place to speak on something that I know nothing about. If you gave me 2 crocheting needles and some yarn, I'd probably hurt myself with it because I know nothing about it. So I would not even attempt to try to comment on it, regulate it, or definitely won't try to make any laws about it because I know nothing about it. Do you understand what I'm trying to get at? And I'm really speaking to those people that aren't into guns. You don't know about this here life. You ain't about this life. And that's fine. My point is, have whatever comments you want to have about it. Say whatever it is you want to say. But you should not be voting for or supporting legislation for something that you have no part in. And I say that to politicians as well. Because you politicians aren't informed anyway. The majority of politicians are not informed about guns. I'm going to go as even far as to say most politicians aren't even well informed about the Constitution. They are literally just on all about their feelings. So it's like, and that's okay. Well, not for a politician. You should have to know you should know the ins and outs of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all that stuff. But if you don't know about guns, you should be the congressperson, the senator, or whoever you are, the governor, whatever. You should be the one saying, you know, I'm not really well versed in this subject, therefore I'm not prepared to vote on it. But that's what makes sense. It's really embarrassing to see our so-called political leaders talking about things they know nothing about. That lady, Sheila Jackson, when she got up there talking about a .223 bullet and she was holding a .50 caliber bullet, that's embarrassing. As a politician and as a black person, I was embarrassed because you were willing to get on national TV, you were willing to go to the news media and talk about something that you didn't have a fucking clue about just so you can get you some airtime, just so you can get your face out there because the cameras was on. And that's what this has become for a good portion of politicians who actually have a say in this shit. They're just trying to go with the flow so they can say, yes, I was a part of that. I voted on that. Yes, I did. And I ain't worried about it. That's what they're doing. You should be wanting to get informed about something that you're going to try to draft up and present legislation about. Sheila Jackson got legislation that she's written or supposedly written that she's trying to pass through and ain't done none of the research, don't know shit about it. They're making up shit like wanting you to pay insurance to have a gun. Like it's a fucking car. This ain't that. I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was. I was watching because I was researching so much stuff on this. Somebody said like, hell, that's like paying insurance to speak, having insurance to speak. Yeah, if you want to exercise your freedom of speech, your right, yeah, your constitutional right, yeah, you got to pay insurance for that. It's like the saying, I was like, damn, as crazy as it sounds, the person had a point. Do you have speaking insurance, sir? Oh, okay, then go ahead and proceed. Say what you need to say to the public, yes. Can I see, before you go live, can you show me your public speaking insurance card? Oh, you don't have it. Okay, well, in that case, we're not going to allow you to be able to speak. What would paying insurance do? You're paying it to the government. So you tell me, CJ, $800 a year that you would pay to the federal government for insurance. You tell me what they're going to do with that money. I can tell you what they're going to do with it. They're going to put it in their pocket. I don't know if it's per gun or not, but it's like, that's what you got to pay. It may be that goddamn stupid. That's what they want to do. And the thing is, it's here's my because what this does, and this asks the question, this poses the question of where do we draw the line? These politicians will make up anything, say anything, will just draft up the most ridiculous bills and then try to create just the most outlandish propaganda to go along with it. And as crazy as it will sound to us, most people in the general public won't say a goddamn thing because it's a congressperson or it's a senator that's saying it or it's a governor that's saying it or it's a mayor or somebody else that's saying it. We have this thing where these politicians say shit that makes no sense, and we don't say anything back like, hey, wait a minute, man, that's stupid. What are you talking about? We just sit back and listen. That's what they saying? That's what they're talking about? Oh, wow. We got to move past that. We have to start challenging these people that are trying to get us to go along with this bullshit that they're doing. Deluxe 24/7 said all it will do is take guns away from law-abiding citizens. Yeah, the criminals will keep their guns per gun. Yeah, it is $800 per gun per year. Wow. HR 27 wants to make it too painful to own a gun. It's a thing to where you look at it to where you say what it is that you're trying to do and what you're telling me that it's going to do are two entirely separate things, and they've proven not to work. You want to make more, and here's the propaganda. We call this make sense gun laws. We're gonna come up with these extra gun laws, and then once we do that, it's gonna work. Well, y'all got gun laws in place that are obviously not working. Look at Chicago, look at California, look at New York. You look at all of these Democratic ran cities with the strictest gun laws, they got the fucking most gun violence or just as much gun violence as any other city, any other state. That's the statistical data. I'm not making that up or just saying that like a lot of people will do. That's what it is. Then you're now going to tell me how you're going to make it safer for me is to make more laws. Here's my question, then we're going to get into the video. Where have you seen a criminal act get reduced based on the more laws that are created? Have murders went down since there have been more laws around murder? Just saying. So this whole idea that people have to where, yeah, I think if we come up with some more gun laws, man, it'll make it safer for us. It won't. And here's why. Because I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I'm not just speaking for the sake of speaking. Here's why it won't work. And I know I said this last night, and I know that this is going to be a shocker for a lot of you. I'm about to drop a bomb here. Criminals don't follow laws. Criminals don't follow laws. So why would I make more laws that criminals aren't going to follow? Just let that rest on your souls. People who are pro-gun, people who are anti-gun, everybody that won't make sense gun laws, listen to what I just said. Criminals do not follow laws. So why would I make more laws for criminals that are not going to follow them anyway? I know I just fucked up. I just fucked up half of America with that one. I know I did. I know. I'm sorry. Yep. I am that guy. But that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the statistical data of the gun violence in our country. And we're going to break that down a little bit later too. But why would I make or even be talking about or in favor of making more laws for the very people who don't follow them? Here's why I would do that. Because I know that those people that make these laws or that are making these bills to pass these things into law, they've seen the data. And they know that these laws are not going to stop the violence. They're doing it because they really don't give a shit about the violence. Contrary to what you all may believe, they don't care about the people that are dying from gun violence. Yep. Because if they did, they would be providing mental health resources and they would be creating stiffer, harsher prison sentences for those that break the laws that are in place already. And you haven't seen or heard any of that, have you? Exactly. They are literally not concerned about how many people are dying, how many people are getting shot, how many people are, they're not concerned about that. Their goal is to get the law-abiding citizens guns. That's what this whole thing is about. Yes, the people that don't break the laws, the people that do abide by the laws, they want to disarm us. Well, why would they want to do that? What they want to take our guns for? Take the gun away from gun control, and there's your answer. Take the gun out of gun control, and what do you have? Control. Control! You heard Janet Jackson tell us. Let's go.
Well, in the wake of the shooting, President Biden and Vice President Harris are calling for more gun control.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future and to urge my colleagues in the House and Senate to act.
The point here is Congress needs to act. And on the House side, they did. There are two bills which the president is prepared to sign, and so we need the Senate to act.
Here to react, attorney and gun rights activist Kolian Noir. Kolian, always good to have you. Thanks for being on the program this morning. What do you think? We see the list of items, somewhat repetitive in the wake of these tragedies. The Democrats will push for expanded background checks, banning assault rifles, assault weapons, high-capacity, quote-unquote, high-capacity magazines, potentially a gun registry. What do you expect them to target as new laws?
Well, I definitely expect them to go after the universal background checks because for them, that's low-hanging fruit. They've been pushing this notion that 90% of Americans agree with the universal background check without actually telling Americans the distinction between the background check we already have and the universal background checks.
And that's one of the first things. This is chess, not checkers. And a lot of people who are always saying it, and I'm saying that to the people that say, man, I don't know why y'all be saying they trying to take y'all guns. Ain't nobody trying to take y'all guns. Politicians say it. People I know have said it. People that talk about it, that's their biggest argument. They are not going to take your guns, man. Stop saying that. Again, this is chess, not checkers. Most of us live in a microwave type of society. Y'all see the microwave? That's a microwave. Yeah. And it's all about right now. What's happening now? What's happening now? What's happening now? However, people that have a little bit more intellect and actually think for themselves can see that this is the overlay for the underlay. This is what people will call playing the long game. It's about not trying to get guns overnight. It's about disarming this society over time. Why do they want to disarm this society over time? Because it's easier to control a society that is not armed versus one that is. Look at Venezuela. Look at China. Look at Japan. Look at Canada. Y'all do realize that we are the most rebellious motherfuckers on the planet. We talk the loudest shit. We talk the most shit in this country. Y'all do know that in other places of the world, yes, like Cuba, y'all do know, like in Korea, North Korea, and all that kind of shit, not only do they control what people say, they control what people see on the fucking internet. Yes, they control what they have access to on the internet. So why do you think they're able to do that? It's not that those people voted for them to be like, hey, you can't control, well, we want you to control what I think, what I say, what I get access to. It's not what they've done. They know that they can't do shit about it. So the people that are in charge, the politicians there, the regime that's in place there, they get to dictate that. If I can control what you have access to, what you see in the media, what you see on the internet, what you have I essentially get to indoctrinate or program you the way that I want. Right, like Mega Morta said, North Korea controls what you think. Do you understand that? The other places in this world that are already past where they're trying to get us to go, you don't hear shit from them because you can't. They don't get to protest because they're not allowed. And if they try it, what'll happen? They'll get sprayed. Venezuela is a classic example of recent what happens when you have make sense gun laws. Go back to Germany. Go back to the days of Hitler. They did the same exact thing. Oh, what did they start out with? How did they do it? They started with a registry. Well, what's the purpose of a registry? Well, the registry is so that we'll know who all has what. That's not taking guns. That's just information. Well, what does a database do? It provides information. So if you do decide to go and get whatever guns you want, you know who has them and where they are. Just saying. Then when you have a problem with the government, like there's no food, even though you're one of the largest oil exporters in the fucking world, Venezuela, and everybody's wondering, where's the infrastructure? Where's the money? How come we don't have shit? Do you realize that the people in Venezuela are literally, not talking, not comparing, they are literally eating out of the trash daily. That's how they find food. They ate out of the trash to the point to where they got so fed up, they all joined together, didn't have gun at first, and went to their political headquarters, city hall, their Washington, D.C., whatever the hell you want to call it, their White House. And do you know what happened? When they went down there and said, hey, we don't have shit and we need food, they were told to disperse. They were told they needed to leave. And when they didn't leave, you know what happened? Their own military shot them until they left. Now, I'm quite sure some 20 years ago, when they first started their gun registry, when they first started their gun buyback and all that shit, somebody said the same shit that people are saying today. They not gonna take our guns. They just want a gun registry. It makes sense. And you go from it's makes sense gun laws all the way to our own military is shooting us down because we are questioning our government. Imagine that. Imagine getting shot by the army in Washington, D.C., or at your governor's mansion, or at your mayor city hall. Imagine that. We have the beginning stages of that whole entire what do they call it? What do they call it? Community guidelines is what they're calling it here. Violate the social media community guidelines is the same thing as saying, yeah, we're just gonna censor you. You can't say that anymore. You can't talk about that anymore. Just like they did with Hunter Biden. You posted anything about Hunter Biden in that laptop before that election, and you violated community guidelines. Just saying. So when people try to tell you and make light about it, oh man, they ain't gonna do that. That's the same thing they said in Venezuela. It's the same thing they said in Australia. It's the same thing they said, who else was it, New Zealand? And they just started it again in Canada. Yeah.
But on top of that, I expect them to go after AR-15s and semi-automatic rifles as well, largely because they've been engaging in this fear campaign, presenting the AR-15 as this killing machine, that the only utility and purpose that it has is to kill a bunch of people in mass shootings, as we just saw in Boulder, Colorado, which is absolutely not true.
Right.
So from that perspective, like you said, it's very repetitive, and they do this consistently. And at this point, considering the times that we live in now, I think it's fair to say that everyone honestly should be very cognizant about what's going on, because now we have access to information we didn't have 10, 20, 30 years ago. And so the information now is out there. And so I implore the people who are watching this, understand, like, the consequences, there are consequences that come with voting for these people. And we need to hold them accountable to the things that they do and the things that they say.
And Colion, it's a campaign of fear built upon ignorance. It relies on people not understanding the functional differences and the lack of differences in a weapon like the AR compared to other semi-automatic weapons. As long as people are ignorant of these differences or the lack of differences, they'll be able to push that campaign of fear. However, on the other side, Colion,
and here's what we're talking about when they say the campaign of fear. So when you see these things like mass shootings, when you see active shooters and all that stuff, when you see those things, people get scared. And I understand that, because you don't want an active shooter coming to your job. You don't want a mass shooting to happen at your kid's school. So what do you think? How do you stop it? How do you stop it? How do you stop a mass shooting? Well, the truth of the matter is, you can't. You can only be prepared to react to it. It's just like saying, how do you stop an automobile accident? How do you stop car crashes? You can't. You just have to prepare for them. That's it. You can't just, you haven't once heard of anyone saying we need to ban cars. Once. Have anybody ever heard that? Has that ever been a topic of discussion? We need to ban automobiles. Why? Because too many people are dying. Just say if you ever heard it. You've never heard that before. You've never heard that conversation. What do? They take measures to make things safer. By doing what? Do they come up with more driving laws? Nope. They make the roads better. They use different materials. They use stop signs. They use lighting. They use all kind of traffic guidelines and traffic tools to do that. And Jed Mook said, you stop mass shootings by arming all law-abiding citizens. What beats a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. You are right, but you're wrong too. That won't stop mass shootings. If everybody had a gun, it would not stop mass shootings. It wouldn't. You can minimize it. You can shorten those shooting sprees, but it won't stop it. People, I'm about to drop another bomb. I know that y'all not ready to hear this, America. but I have to say it. You probably never heard this before, but I need you to hear it. People kill people. Yeah. I know you haven't heard this before. I get it. People kill other people. I know this is like, I am blowing your minds right now. I know this. I know this ain't what you expected to hear on tonight. But hear that. That's a fact. It has been going on since the days of time. I want to say the first recorded murder was Cain murdering Abel. People kill other people. Now, we can get into all of the reasonings behind it, why they do it. Now, we can talk about that in a whole nother show. But just understand this. There is no amount of laws. There is no amount of restrictions. There is no amount of any type of legislation that is possible to be written that would stop people from killing people. Jed said he thought the guns did the killing. Yes, I know. It's these guns that do it, these weapons of war. But just understand, if people are the ones that kill people, how many laws can you make up to stop people from killing people? It's not a law thing. This is not a regulation thing. This is a true mental health thing. This is at one point in time, there were people dying from disease. You know what they did? They attacked the reasons why. Why is the disease being transmitted? How can we minimize the transmission of the disease? Okay, we have to be more clean. We have to exercise good hygiene. That's how we stop this kind of stuff. If your teeth are falling out of your head, you have to brush your teeth. That's why you have to do that, so that you can prevent your teeth from falling. There is a way to minimize gun violence, and it is not by legislation. And the fact that people who are so afraid of what's going on in our country that they think that it is, let me educate you right now and tell you that is not the way. Because if you took away every gun in America, if you Thanos'd all the guns, bam, right now, you know what would happen? You'd have a lot of people dying by knives. If you Thanos'd all the knives, you know what would happen? You'd have a lot of people dying by sticks. If you Thanos'd all of the sticks, you'd have a lot of people dying by bricks. If you Thanos'd all of the bricks, you'd have a lot of people dying by hands and feet. And you know why? Because people kill people. Now, there are other reasons as to why they do that, but there are far more greater things that are killing us, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit, that's killing us, that are I'm talking about bigger numbers that we're not attacking, and we're not trying to ban those things. And what's oddly enough, the thing about guns are a right, not a privilege. That Constitution was written a specific way, and it was written to be future-proof. Yes.
2020 saw record gun purchases and for first-time gun owners, and that only increased in January of 2021. So the point is, there are more Americans out there owning guns today than at any point. So how is this a political victory, or how can they push forward a democratic political agenda if more and more people are becoming gun owners?
That's just it. They can't, because if there's one thing that their agenda can't usurp, it's reality. Because I think there are a lot of people out there who believe that we're so advanced that we don't need these tools anymore. And that's not the case. And we learned that readily in 2020 when people realize, oh man, when it comes down to it, the only person responsible for my safety is me. So I need to go out there and get the best tool possible to defend not only me, but the family and the people that I love. And that's what we realized in 2020. But on the other side of it, as far as the gun control lobby and these politicians who are anti-gun, they think they can continue to just push this agenda because they forget we live in a day and age of the internet and that they can. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, Colin, and the answer is they will do it through undemocratic means. They'll do it through executive action or something else that doesn't rely on the voters' accountability. Really quickly, Colin, everyone wants to see these tragedies end. The Democrats' response always is to go after guns. What would be your suggestion on how we can stem the tide of these mass shootings?
Empower the people. At the end of the day, empower the people, because it's only reality. A cop can't be there at the same time or to the degree that you're there whenever a situation like this happens.
Exactly. When the situation happens and your life is in danger, there is no police officer that can be there faster than you being there to deal with the threat that's imminent right in your life, in that moment in your life. And that in itself should be the main reason why no one, no government, no law, no politician, no one should be able to tell you how you defend yourself and what you use to defend yourself. Nobody should. Nobody should. If I'm in my house and someone kicks in my door and they got a gun or a knife or they're just coming in to take my shit, if I have a javelin rocket, look it up and see what it does. I should be able to use that to defend my property and to defend my life. Just saying, if that's what I have on hand, I should be able to use it. You should not be able to tell me what it is I use to defend myself. When you use those same exact tools to wreak havoc on the fucking world with our military. Have you all seen the type of artillery that our military has? Have you all seen the devastation that we have fucking caused and rained down on other fucking enemies of ours? The tools that we use to fucking wage war on others in this world are far more devastating than an AR-15 with a 30 round, 60 round, or 100 round drum. Right, that Moab bomb, man, y'all need to, here's the thing. You all need to Google some of this shit that you think we got or haven't seen just so that you can see what it is that shit does. There's a gun that's on a Navy ship called a Wisp. You should see it. And you should see what the fuck it does. Matter of fact, fuck that. Matter of fact. Oh shit. Or is it a wizard? I think it's a wizard. That's what it's called. I think it's either a wisp or a whiz. See, that's it. Thank you, Devin. Thank you. A sea whiz. That's what it's called. Y'all should see, y'all gotta see. I'm about to show you this shit just so you can see what the fuck kind of shit that we have that we put on other motherfuckers. I want you to see it. I want you to take a look and see what the fuck we do as a country, what we do to other motherfuckers. And then the same motherfucking people trying to tell us what we can and what we can't have. Yeah. This is the shit that pisses me off when I say, like, motherfuckers don't do research and you don't look at shit. We don't see the shit that's going on in the world, and we think that all that shit, because it's not on our front steps, it's not on our front door, that it's all good. And it's no problem. Oh man, that's nothing. Look at this shit. I want you to just see this real quick. I'm gonna blow this motherfucker all the way up too, so you can see all of it in all its glory. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Only 2 minutes. Let's watch what this motherfucker does. You see the size of them bullets? Wait till this motherfucker ride. You see what the fuck they gotta do to load this motherfucker? Look at them bullets. That round has to be at least it gotta be at least 10 inches. Look at what they have to do just to prep this motherfucker to load, to be able to shoot it. Now watch. Do you see that? Do you see that? That's not like a minigun, dude. That's way fucking faster than a minigun. Do you see that shit? Did you see how big those bullets were that they put into that? And look at how fast they're firing. Now, what do you think that would do to a person? Isn't that a weapon of war? Why would we want to do that to some other country? Do you see how fast the motherfucking bullets are coming off this thing? All you hear is the whiz. That's all you hear is the fucking whiz. Do you see that shit? That's the type of shit that we see whiz. There we go. That's what the fuck we have as the fucking government, as our government, our country. That's the type of havoc we wreak on other motherfuckers. Can you imagine what that does to a body? Can you imagine what that does to a boat, to a ship? Imagine if they would have had one of them when what's the movie with Tom Hanks and the Somalian dude? I'm the captain now. Everything be all right, Irish. What was the name of that movie? I can't remember the name of the goddamn movie, but the movie with Tom Hanks when he was the goddamn captain of the boat and them Somalian motherfuckers came to take over the goddamn boat. And they had Tom Hanks' ass out there for a couple of days until they called in the Navy SEALs to take them motherfuckers out. But just imagine if they would have had that to shoot them motherfuckers out that little ass boat that they was in. Imagine what a Sea Whiz will do to and we ain't gonna even talk about the fucking rocket, Captain Phillips. Thank you, Mr. Chips. We ain't gonna even talk about the fucking rockets and the air artillery. We ain't gonna even talk about that shit. Y'all saw that shit go to work when we had that little short ass motherfucking war back in the 90s, that little short ass shit that lasted like 2 weeks. When we was letting them motherfucking Patriot missiles ride on them motherfuckers. So don't give me that shit about how you concerned about what these weapons of war do. Motherfuckers, we are the gods of war. That's what we are. That's who we are. Right, Sylvester? We rain down freedom on motherfuckers. That's what we do. And people don't want to accept the fact of it's like this, y'all. We live in a violent world. And people don't want to accept the fact that the shit that we have here, there was a ton of bloodshed and millions of backs broken to build what this is right now. That's just the truth. The people that died and the people that literally lost their lives to have what we have here, you don't want to see the numbers. That's what we are. That's what happened. And it's not just us. Look at the shit that the motherfuckers do over in Korea, China, the goddamn English. They've done it all as well. We just like the newest country. Y'all do know that America ain't nothing but a couple of 100 years old. That's it. So yes, there's a lot of room for us to grow, but don't try to make it seem like we ought to be these just wonderful neighboring people and we don't want to hurt anyone. Man, please, the shit that our military can do, the drones that have fucking dropped the shit that they've dropped on people, innocent people. Ask Barack Obama. That motherfucker was dropping so many drones on motherfuckers, he was joking about the shit. Motherfucker, if a motherfucker fucks with my daughter, I'll send a drone to his house. That motherfucker was flying drones like you fly a kite in the joint. I'm just saying. Right, we're in our terrible 2 stage right now. Motherfucking the shit that we've done to other countries, the shit that we've done to other people. I'm talking when we made accident. Ooh, shit. Goddamn, that was a school? Oh, we didn't mean it. Oh, damn. That was a school and a hospital? God damn. All right, let's just keep going. Come on, man.
We should teach people responsible gun ownership and the ability to carry a firearm with them as often as possible so that if something like this does happen, we can do something about it immediately and not have to wait for someone else.
And I would suggest, as evidence to back up your point right there, these don't often happen, or they largely happen in gun-free zones. That's where a lot of these types of crimes take place.
Today, there was another growing.
So here's the thing. And yes, Calvin Dickerson says, he said brain. People do that all the time. He says brain. I read Chicago's toughest gun laws. It's hard to own a gun there. Yes, it's very difficult to own a gun there. Very difficult to own a gun there. You have to, in Chicago, in Illinois, in Chicago, you have to have in order to purchase ammo, you have to have what is called a FOID card, which is Firearms Owner ID card. You got to have a FOID card. So that's one piece of identification you have to apply for. Can't have no record. You got to pass all through these hoops to get that. You got to have a FOID card just to buy ammo. Okay? Then you have to have a concealed carry license in order to buy a gun and to carry a gun. Well, no, in order to carry a gun. You got to have a FOID card to buy a gun, and you got to have a FOID card to buy ammo in Illinois. In Chicago, you can't carry a gun unless you have a concealed carry license. So you got to have 2 forms of ID pertaining to your right to carry a firearm in Chicago. Now, along with that, you still got to have state ID or driver's license in order to prove who the fuck you are. So you got to have that. So now that's 3 different forms of ID that you have to have in order to be able to carry a gun in Chicago, or to own a gun, or to buy ammo. Here's the crazy part about that. You can't have an AR-15 in Chicago. Cannot have a 223. Can't have no rifle, no AR-15 in Chicago. Can't have it. Now, in the other neighboring suburbs around Chicago or out of Cook County, you can have it, but you can't have it in Chicago, which is in Cook County. Here's the other thing about it. All of the hoops you have to go through, 3 forms of ID at least, in order to get a firearm and to carry a firearm and to purchase ammo. Why in the fuck is it so much gun violence in that city with all of those laws in place? A person has to have 3 pieces of ID in order to buy ammo and to actually carry a gun in that city, yet they're one of the highest fucking most violent, gun violent fucking cities in the fucking world. You know why? Because criminals don't follow laws. It's that simple. It's that simple. I know I'm shocking everybody again with this statement. I need to make a t-shirt that says it. Criminals don't follow laws. They talk about, they bringing the guns in from Indiana and they're getting the guns from Wisconsin and bringing them down here and they're flooding our city and our community with guns. No, the guns are illegal and the people that have them are illegal. So do you realize that the criminals would still get guns illegally, whether it was from Indiana, Kalamazoo, Mexico, Arizona, Texas, Mississippi, Arkansas, Memphis, Idaho, Iowa, Minnesota? They don't give a fuck. They're criminals. They just want the guns. They don't care where they come from and if they are legal or not. That's like a goddamn drug dealer saying, hey, look, now, I only sell cocaine that's from Bolivia. Now, if you come to me with some of this Sinaloan cartel cocaine, if you come over here with some of this cocaine from these other third world countries, I'm just not having it. I only sell Bolivian cocaine. Man, I don't give a fuck where it come from. Cocaine is cocaine. If I'm selling it, I'm in the cocaine business. I want cocaine. You have it in Mexico, you have it in Venezuela, you have it anywhere, I want it. You think Frank Lucas was picky about where he got his fucking heroin from? No. Why? Because he's a drug dealer. Who's got the best price? They got the best price? Okay, I can get it from here at this price. Okay, and I got a way to get it here? Great. Frank Lucas wasn't saying, hey, now look, we only sell regulated heroin. Now this Blue Magic is nice, but it's not regulated. I need to go with the more regulated heroin. No, I'm a drug dealer. I'm going to sell drugs. I'm a fucking criminal. I'm a gangbanger. I want a gun. A gangbanger don't give a fuck where his gun comes from. He just wants the gun. I know. I'm doing way too much. But now what I want to do here is I want to get into some real fucking facts. Because yes, I'm telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I see. Yup, you're right. Now, let's actually look at some real numbers. This is the thing that a lot of anti-gun people cannot do. Most people can't do this. Make a point and then support it, or articulate a point and then support it with facts.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future and to urge my colleagues in the House and Senate to act. We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country once again. I got that done when I was a senator.
He did. And you know what? The Department of Justice, they looked at that 10-year ban on AR-15s And they figured and they looked at the statistical data and said, hey, Joe, that shit you did, it didn't work. It didn't make damn bit of difference. Yep, Joe Biden did do this assault weapons ban. There was an assault weapons ban for over 10 years. The Department of Justice took all of that statistical data and said, hey, guys, pretty much the same amount of people that died anyway. So you banning these guns, it didn't do shit. That's what happened. That's a fact. And here's the dumb part about it. He's trying to say the same shit again. We've done it before. We can do it again. Hey, Joe, that didn't work. We've done it before. We can do it again. Hey, Joe, people still died, though. It didn't change any of the statistical data. I took on the NRA and I beat them. I'm the only guy that's ever done that. Yeah, but Joe, what you did, it didn't work. I was the guy that did that. I took them on and I beat them. We did it before. We can do it again. Vote for me. Kamala Harris. That's what the fuck he did. It was the same shit you're trying to do now is this. It's not going to change. If my purpose is to say, I want to stop these people from dying. I want to lower the gun violence in America. I want to save lives. I want to stop people from dying. Then why would you do something that didn't work before? High capacity magazines. Oh, so you just want me to reload more. That's what you're saying? You just want me to reload more? That's it? So instead of me just having one 30-round magazine, you want me to have 3 10-round magazines. Do you know how fast, how quickly you can load a magazine into a gun? It's not like you got to say, it ain't like you got to do that C-Wiz where you got to take you about 20 minutes to load that motherfucker. You ain't like that. This is a matter of seconds. And yes, seconds do count in a gunfight. However, when I'm the only motherfucker, the rabbit that got the gun, and I'm out here getting busy, me reloading a rifle ain't gonna matter. Reloading a semi-automatic handgun ain't gonna matter. Now, if I gotta reload a fucking revolver, that can take some time. If I gotta reload a fucking shotgun, that can take some time. An old school shotgun, yes, that can take some time. A musket, that can take some time. But there is no reason to say what he's saying because he's saying it like it made a difference and it didn't. There's statistical data that prove that it didn't. But part of the propaganda that he sells is, I did it before. We could do it again.
It passed. It was law for the longest time.
Not the longest time like motherfucking Billy Joel. It was 10 years, dude. It was a 10-year run. Because even back then, they didn't believe the shit was going to work. So they say, yeah, we'll do it. We'll only do it for 10 years, dude. Then we'll look at it and see what's happening, see what's going on with it. We'll verify the data from this 10-year ban and see what happens. And you know what they said? Didn't do a goddamn thing.
And it brought down these mass killings. We
You
should
didn't.
do it.
And there's the lie. You didn't. You didn't. He didn't. I don't know why he's saying like he did, but he didn't. It didn't change anything. But when people hear him lie and say that, they say nothing. They, he said he stopped it again. No, he did not. No, you did not.
Again.
297 people. According to the FBI, that's how many people were killed with
Now
the
check
rifle in
this out.
2018. Not just an AR-15, but all rifles.
Did you hear that? 297. Numbers matter. 297 people were killed in 2018 with a fucking rifle. Not AR-15s, just a rifle. Less than 300. That's a fact. So all of the people that are worried about these being weapons of war, guns of war, you don't need these guns of war. 297.
That means the number of people killed with AR-15s is even lower. Joe Biden is famous for saying this.
You don't need an AR-15. It's harder to aim. It's harder to...
That's a fucking lie. An AR-15 is not. And this is what lets you know he don't know shit about an AR-15. Why are you saying that? Let me ask you this. If an AR-15 was harder to aim, harder to shoot, why would our military carry that? So we're going to equip the Navy, the Marines, the Army, and the Air Force all with an AR-15 style platform weapon that's harder to aim and harder to shoot. That's what we're going to arm our troops with to go into fucking battle, to go up against all of these other fucking countries, all of these other motherfuckers. We're going to give them that weapon that's harder to aim and harder to shoot. Ask them Middle Eastern motherfuckers if that AK-47 is harder to aim and harder to shoot. Ask them. My friend, is this AR-15, is this AK-47, is very hard to shoot and very hard to aim? No, my friend. It's very, very easy. I feel good when I'm shooting it at the infidels. Do you hear how he just said? I mean, I'm so tired of people letting people just say shit. I really am. You just let somebody say something that's a fucking lie that's just not true, and you just keep just saying it. Motherfucker, get on TV. Yes, I'm Peter Pan, and I just came in from Never Neverland, and I'm here to talk to you guys about guns. And people just sit back and be like, he's from Never Neverland, okay. Wonder if Captain Hook is, how he's doing. Wonder if Tinkerbell and all them are still there. He just said something that's not true, and nobody says anything about it. They just let it go.
And in fact, you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself.
You don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself. Well, let me ask you this, because if you're saying that, that would mean you would know how many rounds I need to protect myself. Is that not what he's implying? If you don't need 30 rounds to protect yourself, you obviously must know how many rounds I need. And here's what this motherfucker's response is.
Buy a shotgun.
Yeah, in 2000.
Now, how many times have anybody, or when was the last time you saw a motherfucking gunfight on the street, at a bank, outside, in a house, where a motherfucker just kicked all kind of ass with a fucking Mossberg or a Remington, a Mossberg 500 or a Remington 870? Traditional shotgun. When was the last time you seen our fucking military march into battle with a bunch of fucking shotguns on their shoulders? When was the last time you seen our Secret Service with a guy with a bunch of fucking shotguns talking about we protecting the president and his family? When was the last time you seen the Secret Service riding in a motherfucking car detail with the president, with the first family, with whoever the fuck, and they all had shotguns? When was the last time you seen any type of military force, any type of militia going to work with a bunch of fucking shotguns? You haven't. You know why? Because an AR-15 is better. A handgun is better. Why is that? Because they have more round capacity. I personally like I don't have anything against shotguns. I'm actually about to buy one of those, what the fuck is that gun? The goddamn Mossberg Shockwave. I want a Shockwave. I'm looking at them right now. Something fun to shoot. That will not be my primary everyday fucking carry firearm. That is not going to be the gun I go to when I hear something go bump in the night. It could be an option, but it ain't the gun. I don't need, I got this Shockwave. I'm good. I got this Mossberg 500. I don't need shit else. You know why? The reason why you don't need, why that's not the gun to have is because there are far superior firearms out here that you will literally be outmatched with that gun. Do y'all remember the story I did a long time ago, maybe about a year or two ago, where the pregnant wife was inside the house and two dudes came and approached her husband and his daughter and her daughter in the backyard? And they got into it, got to fighting and shit. Motherfuckers pulled out guns, and she, being, I think she was 7 or 8 months pregnant, she came out there with an AR-15 and defended her family and fought those motherfuckers off. AR-15. I wonder if a pregnant woman would say an AR-15 is harder to aim, harder to shoot, and she wished she would have had a shotgun in that situation. I think not. Just saying. That shit he's saying is just not true.
2018, 235 people were killed with a shotgun. Everyone loves to talk about how low the gun death rate.
235 people killed with a shotgun. So shotguns and rifles, already we're talking what? Less than 600 people?
Is in the UK because they all but banned guns. Yet in 2018, the number of stabbings were so high, the mayor of London implemented a blade ban.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? No guns in the UK. Did you hear that? No guns in the UK.
Everyone loves to talk about how low the gun death rate is in the UK because they all but banned guns. Yet in 2018, the number of stabbings were so high, the mayor of London implemented a blade ban. Want to take a guess how many people died in the US from being stabbed? 1,515 people. That's literally 5 times the number of people who were killed with not just an AR-15, but all rifles.
So that also means that the amount of shotgun killings and the amount of rifle killings was just shy of 600. Less than 600. That same number of stabbings is 1,500. So we got two gun platforms, AR-15 style platform and the, I'm sorry. Let me be correct. I misspoke. We have rifles, not just AR-15s, but all rifles, all shotguns, less than 600. Stabbings alone, 1,500. So yes, that means more people died from stabbings than they did from rifles and they did from shotguns. How about that? Buy a shotgun, Joe.
It gets even goofier. Want to take a guess how many people were killed by hands and feet? 672.
That's still less than, that's still more than rifles and shotguns. These are just numbers. These are the facts. I'm just saying. What else do you have to say?
More than 2 times the number of people were killed by hands and feet than they were with AR-15s. So someone want to explain to me why Joe Biden is okay with 1,515 people being stabbed to death, but wants to ban a gun that has killed less than 300 people.
And that's why I use this video, because I couldn't have said it any better than Colin Noir. Shout out to him too. There's no other way there's no better way for me to say that than the way he said it. And that's why I said I just got to use this video. Why would we be okay with our politicians coming up with legislation to ban a particular gun and to come up with stricter gun laws for a particular gun platform that has killed less than 300 people a year? Let that just sit there on your mind for a second. Why would I waste time coming up with gun legislation for a gun that's killed less than 300 people. Why would I do that? And this is why I go back to, this is chess, not checkers. This is chess, not checkers. The goal is to disarm our entire society so that they can control or have more control over our society. They want to be able to tell you what to think. They want to be able to tell you what to do, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it but do it. I had someone ask me this question, and this question here. Well, I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna tell you about the question that I was.
Tell you why? Because it's about control, not saving lives. If it were about saving lives, we'd be talking about the things that kill 5 times the number of people than so-called assault weapons do. There is an agenda to destroy the Second Amendment,
and that is true. Based on the information that I have presented, the information that Corleone has presented, it's true. The very thing that our forefathers put on a piece of paper to actually keep from happening is the very thing that politicians are trying to get rid of. Why? So that that thing can happen again. Do you realize that the people that came over here left a tyrannical government? Do you realize that that's why they wanted to come here? Is because they didn't have the freedoms there, because the government there ran what the fuck they did, how the fuck they did it, and they didn't have guns to fight back. So that's why they said, hey, we need to make it to where any and everybody can always have a gun. Whether it's a musket or if it's a fucking Sea Whiz. That's the point of the Constitution. That's the point of the Second Amendment. Because I need to be able to say what the fuck I want to say, and I need to be able to have a gun so that nobody can stop me from saying what the fuck I want to say.
because it's the only thing that prevents the government from having absolute power over its people. The government is afraid of us because we have guns. In other countries, the government does what it wants to their people because the people don't have a Second Amendment. So at best, all the people can do is protest and rally and throw rocks. In America, if the government pushes the people too far, they might start throwing 223s. That's why they have
Exactly. I love that part. Because then that gets to my question. Somebody challenged me with the question of saying, well, shit, man, if you got a fucking 223, if you got an AR-15, then what the fuck you gonna do up against a tank? What would you do if the government did send the army to come get your guns? What the fuck you gonna do against the army? I said, you know what? You have a point. If the government sent the army to come get my gun, come take my AR and the rest of my arsenal that I have, what could I do? I couldn't do shit. You're right. So you see, they could come get them if they wanted them. So that's why I'm telling you they don't want your guns. Nope. How about this little small caveat? Riddle me this, Batman. How many guns are in America? Estimated around 420 million. How many Americans are in America? Oh, about 325 million. Now, you have a point when you say that if the government wanted to come take my gun or my guns, they could. Ain't shit I can do against a tank. You're right. But, how about if me and 77 million motherfuckers with AR-15s said, no, y'all can't have Brian's guns? You tell me how many people in our military. Do we have 77 million soldiers? You tell me if all of our armed forces would be on board, if all of our soldiers would be on board to come and take over and to shoot down the very Americans that they swore to protect. You tell me that. You tell me if you think that if 50 million of us, let's cut it in half, 35 million Americans with AR-15s went to D.C., what would happen? Who win in that? You tell me if 20 million went to Washington, D.C. and said, fuck this government, who's going to win that battle? See, that's the whole key to this. It's strength in numbers. It's strength in numbers. And that's why if you got one person with an AR-15, yeah, he ain't shit. 70 million, 80 million motherfuckers with AR-15s? Sir, last time I checked, that's a fucking formidable army. So when you talk about if the government want to come, they can come. Yeah, you right. But if everybody that's got these, if we take these 400 million guns and put them to work, the government ain't coming no motherfucking where. That's why they did what they did when they came up with the Second Amendment. For that very thing. That's why they said everyone, and it shall not be infringed. So that means everyone can have a gun, and you can't tell me how many I can have, when I can have it, where I can have it, how many rounds I can have, how many magazines I can have, how many of. That's why they did just that. Because they knew the people that are in this country will never, the army will never outpopulate the people in this country. So if we give the guns to the people, then the people would be ultimately in charge of the country. The politicians will never outnumber the people. You can split this country in half, 160 million apiece on both sides. That's still a formidable army to the point to where you don't want to have a civil war. Yes, Mega Mortis, the people are the militia. They knew when they wrote that shit, they knew every person, every American wouldn't be in the militia. But they knew if we get a good amount of these motherfuckers to be in it, that's good. Say you don't even need 20 million. 5 million is more than enough. More than enough. Because I'm telling you right now, our own soldiers, and shout out to all of our soldiers and all of our veterans that serve, they not going to be with that turning their guns on us type of shit because it's their own people. It's their own family members. Their friends. It's the motherfuckers that they swore to protect. So that bullshit they pulled in Venezuela, those motherfuckers was cool with it because they didn't have no goddamn guns. It's not the same here. Like Chucky said, No, it's not the same here. Because when you look at it, the people, the boots on the ground, yeah, you can drive tanks up and down the street, but a tank can be stopped. There's plenty of intuitive, all of my backwoods, off the grid living redneck motherfuckers. Y'all know how to stop these tanks. That shit can be stopped. This country does, the last thing they want to do is go to war with itself. That's why they ended the fucking Civil War. They was like, man, we can't do this shit, man. You're killing your own kind. You're an idolater. That's what you are. They don't want to do that. So what do they want to do? We got to get these motherfucking guns out these motherfuckers' hands so they ain't got none. Because if you ain't got no gun and you going up against a tank, then yeah, you're going to look like them motherfuckers over in the Middle East throwing shoes and rocks and sticks at tanks. That's stupid. But like Coleon said, you start throwing 223s, oh, you get a motherfucker's attention. Oh, you best believe you'll get a motherfucker's attention. You got a bunch of motherfuckers over, even the Middle Eastern motherfuckers. They not even well trained. And they just out there with AKs and fucking they out there with AKs and fucking what's them rocket launchers called that they got? I forgot what you call them goddamn things. RPGs. They out there with RPGs and AKs. Formidable adversaries though. Now you look at all of the people that are here that got guns that go to the gun range that are at least they semi-trained, somewhat trained. Boy, you and we on our own turf? Come on here now. Come on here now. We know how to navigate throughout the land. That idea of that shit, it ain't as far-fetched as you think. That's all I'm saying. So the idea of saying they can come take your gun if they want. Yeah, they could come take mine, but they can't come take ours. I tell you that. I tell you that. And just like I forget who put it in the chat who said a 5 million would be more than enough. It's way more than 5 million people that are pro 2A. Believe that. Way more than 5 million people that believe in this here gun shit. So the thing is, we need to be holding these politicians accountable by saying this legislation y'all trying to come up with, it's stupid. It's illegal. It's against the Constitution.
Use the media to scare us with sensationalism to get us to give up our rights blindly. Whether you like it or not, the only thing, and I mean the only thing, standing in the way of the government having complete dominance over the American people is the Second Amendment.
We can close the loopholes in our background check system, including the Charleston loophole. That's one of the best tools we have right now to prevent gun violence. The Senate should immediately pass. Let me say it again. The United States Senate, I hope some are listening, should immediately pass. I hope someone's listening to House-passed bills that close loopholes in the background check system.
He's talking.
Now let's explain that shit. Well, here
talking about Bill H.R. 1446 and H.R. 8. H.R. 1446 is the so-called Charleston loophole bill.
And that's the shit that they have where they talking about. So right now you do a background check, it's 3 days. In 3 days, if the background check ain't done, then it fail-safe's over and you get a pass. This Charleston loophole shit, what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it 10 days, and then there is no fail-safe if it's not done in 10 days to where a motherfucker has a background check that's pending if after 10 days it's just still pending. You know what that means? Here's why you don't want that. Number one, our fucking government fucking employees need to do their fucking job. Number two, if they are overwhelmed and don't have enough resources to do their fucking job, then maybe we shouldn't be sending $20 million over to Pakistan for fucking transgender research, and we probably need to shore up and get some more resources for our fucking background checks that are currently taking place today. How about that? When you got 10%, less than 10% of a fucking $1 trillion fucking COVID bill that's passed that deals with COVID, and the rest of it is all these other fucking politicians' pet projects. Maybe we should take some of that money and put it towards our resources so that the FBI can do their background checks in a reasonable amount of time, because 3 days is more than enough time to check a person the fuck out. We got plenty of resources to make sure you filing your goddamn taxes. We got plenty of resources to make sure that people are fucking paying their goddamn taxes. We should have plenty of resources for people that we're paying our fucking taxes for to do our fucking background checks. Because if they get to delay it, what if they just say, hey, this department is closed due to COVID? So now can't nobody get background checks done, and all these background checks are on hold, which means these weapon purchases are on hold because we don't have enough bodies in this department. Oh, there's a bottleneck somewhere. We're trying to get to the bottom of it. We got problems with our goddamn mail getting delivered on time. Now, if my ass is on the line, I'm a single mother, single woman who got a stalking ass boyfriend or some shit trying to come kill my ass. He just texted me talking about, bitch, I'ma kill you. Now what do I got to do? Hope that the government gets their fucking shit together in time? Or a psycho boyfriend just gonna fucking have his way with my ass then, huh? Guess I'll just be on the fucking news. You understand what I'm saying? It's all a bunch of bullshit. Closing a loophole. How about you motherfuckers just do your fucking job? This is the reason why you talking about all of these fucking government jobs that people have, all these federal fucking jobs that people have, and you don't have enough people doing them? Then that's what this fucking COVID bill should have went for, as opposed to sending motherfuckers over to do research on goddamn Asian koi fish. That's real. Millions of dollars allocated towards koi fish research in a COVID bill. I don't know yet, Craig, what the fuck is transgender research and why the fuck are we funding Pakistan to do research for themselves? I still ain't figured that out. And ain't nobody even gave a fuck to ask that question. I did a video on it talking about all this shit that they passed in that COVID bill. Them motherfuckers gave Pakistan, I want to say it was either $15 or $25 million for transgender research in Pakistan. And nobody said a goddamn thing about it. And they didn't want to give us $2,000 in a stimulus. Hundreds of millions of dollars we're giving to Central America. And here's the truth about that. When you talk about all this border shit, I think it's $500 million we gave to Central America, and nobody knows what they're doing with the money. Nobody knows what they're doing with that money. Donald Trump said it himself. I cut that shit because I asked, well, what the fuck are we giving all of this money to Central America for? Why are we giving them $500 million? What are they doing with it? And nobody knew. And like a real motherfucker, he said, oh, well, if don't nobody know, then fuck them. Scratch their ass off this list. Ain't nobody saying shit about it. Y'all cool with that shit because y'all don't like Trump. $500 million to Central America and don't nobody know where the fucking money going. We do that shit all the time. You know what they call it? Foreign aid. We give millions, hundreds of millions of money, of dollars, our own taxpayer dollars that we give to other countries for whatever the fuck it is. But meanwhile, I got homeless Americans, I got disabled veterans, and I got a shit ton of mentally ill Americans with no resources. And I'm the only one saying something about it. I'm the only one saying something about it. This ain't on nobody else's social media. This ain't on nobody else's Facebook. This ain't on nobody else's Instagram. All this twerking shit, bust it challenge, all that shit is out there. But ain't nobody talking about how a motherfucking country is sending hundreds of millions of dollars to foreign aid to other countries while our own blood-born and bred Americans here on U.S. soil are suffering because they don't have resources. How many millions of dollars went to mental health in our own country versus what we sent out to other countries in this last bill, in the bill before that, and in the bill before that? Y'all do know it was three of those, three multi-trillion-dollar bills that were passed into law. And you know who's going to pay for it? I'm starting with the man in the mirror, us. They're asking us to pay their way. And they don't give a motherfuck about us. They just want us to sit a punk ass down and pay this money so they can do what they fucking want with our change, yeah. Awaken 2018 said Donald Trump is a Jesuit puppet. He doesn't give a shit about us. Well, if he don't give a shit about us, what do you think Joe Biden does? What do you think about Joe Biden? What do you think about Barack Obama? Yeah. How about that? Where's that post? Where's that message at in the chat?
There's no loophole in our background check system. I did an entire video about this so-called Charleston loophole. And this is what actually happened.
The FBI director called it heartbreaking, saying it was human error that allowed to buy the gun he would allegedly use to kill 9 people at a prayer meeting in Charleston. By law, had to wait 3 days before buying the handgun. Time for the FBI to run a background check. That check revealed a drug charge, so the FBI employee kept digging, but called the wrong police agency in South Carolina.
What level, how much incompetency do you have to just have to do that? Now, I don't know if this particular department is overworked. I don't know if they're overwhelmed, whatever the case may be. But the fact that you look at the seriousness of this particular department, and for something like that to happen, that's one of those things to where you have a department in place so that that very thing doesn't happen. I'm just saying, that's exactly why you have a department in place to do just that very thing, so this won't happen. And this should have been an accountability opportunity from everybody in that fucking department, every manager, supervisor, all y'all motherfuckers. I don't care if you write them up, fire them, whatever the fuck may be, whatever the fuck could be. That's what this shit should have resulted in. It should have been followed up with like, that guy's been fired, that guy's been suspended, that guy's been whatever. There should have been some type of this, but you won't hear any of that. We can call for a motherfucking police officer's job just because he tased the motherfucker, but we can't call for this motherfucker's job? Awaken said he doesn't either. Exactly. Neither one of them, the other politicians don't either. I wish people would stop trusting these politicians. I respect you though, brother. Much love. No problem, man. I appreciate you putting the comment in there, because that's what it's all about. Putting the comment out there to address it. We shouldn't trust none of these fucking politicians because they're all in bed and all being bought by somebody or some company or some corporation. And we okay with the shit because we won't speak out about it. We let these motherfuckers spin us. That's my biggest problem. I understand why a politician is trying to get their money. I understand why these motherfuckers is getting in bed with all these companies. I get it, because you want to be rich. I get it. But the fact that we sit there, see the shit and don't say nothing, it's mind-blowing to me. We see the fuck shit that they're doing and just, wow. The fact that Nancy Pelosi's husband has ownership and stake into the very voting system that we have in our country, and nobody says it's a problem. Nobody sees that as an issue. It's a fucking disgrace, and it's embarrassing. It's a slap in the face to us as Americans. Her fucking husband is part owner in the voting system that we have, in the people in the company that supplies our voting machines and the voting system that we have. And we okay with that. No problem. Yep. Yep, that's how it is. Falcon Nation said, Brian, do you think these so-called mass shootings are planned to force gun laws? I don't think that they're planned. I just think that they're a part of our society because they've been happening since the dawn of time. Now, could there be some conspiracy to it? I doubt it. I'm not a tinfoil hat guy. I'm just not. I look at the facts and I understand that people lose their shit. There are people suffering in this fucking country. There are people who are having serious mental issues in this country. And because we're not helping them, this is the fallout from that. It happens in other countries too. Do you know that one of the highest suicide rates, I believe it's in China or North Korea, one of them, their suicide rate, I think it's China. It's off the fucking meter. Those people are killing themselves at a high level, on a consistent basis, all the time. All the time.
Had that employee called the right one, they would have discovered Roof admitted to possessing the drug, which should have disqualified him from buying a weapon.
The other bill is H.R. 8, which is the Universal Background Check bill. I find it funny that Biden is claiming that this bill is one of the best tools we have right now to end gun violence, because in 2013, the United States Department of Justice found that even a perfect universal background check system would not address the largest sources of crime guns. Further, the study found that effectiveness would depend on requiring a gun registration.
And here's the thing with that. People think that the gun registry thing or that the gun registration thing is not a big deal. Here's the problem with that. Because people say, here's why people try to trivialize it. People say, well, shit, you got to register your car. You got to register your license plates for your car and all that. Yeah, you do. You're right. You do. If I'm going to buy a car, I got to register. They got to get my name, all my information, all of that type of shit. They got to know that. And you know why? Because driving in America is a privilege. There's a difference between privileges and rights. A privilege can be regulated and can be taken away. Driving a car, having a license, that is not a right here in America. Being able to get on a plane and take a flight, that is not a right. There is no right to flight in America. That's why they have a no-fly list. And they can put your ass on it just like that. And once your ass is on it, it's harder than a motherfucker to get off of it. Y'all remember that motherfucker, that dumbass that went to the goddamn Capitol to tear up shit, and they found out who he was and put his ass on the no-fly list, and that motherfucker was crying like a bitch in the airport because he couldn't catch a fucking flight? Motherfucker, you don't have a right to flight, motherfucker. You have a right to travel. Get to walking. Get to fucking walking. But a right to fly? There is no such thing. That's a privilege, sir. And because of the shit you did and the way that you behave, motherfucker, you don't have that privilege anymore. So here's the thing. Is there somebody regulating how many cars I can own? Is there someone regulating how many pairs of shoes, how many Jordans I can buy? How many red bottoms I can own? Is there anyone telling me, is there any rule in place, any regulation in place to tell me how many airplanes I can own? How many how many Porsches does fucking Seinfeld own? How many cars does Jay Leno own? Is there any type of regulation or any type of rule with that? No. Are each one of them registered? Yes. So that means that the DMV or if the state of California or the state of New York wanted to come and take away all of Jay Leno's cars, they could, because they know exactly how many he has and they know exactly where they are because they're all registered. That's how they would do it. Why would somebody want to take away their cars? Cars are deadly weapons, man. Cars are killing people. Do you realize there are 38,000 car deaths last year? Automobile deaths. 38,000 automobile deaths last year. How many people are trying to end or confiscate all of the cars? Makes sense, wouldn't it? It was about, I think it was, what is the, hold on. Actually, I got it. I don't even have to talk about it. I don't even have to misquote myself. I can actually show it. Let's look at this fun fact. Where is it at? There we go. How about that? How about that? 28,000 deaths from falling, 32,000 deaths from guns, 33,000 deaths from traffic accidents, and 41,000 deaths from drugs. Drugs are illegal the last time I checked, aren't they? I'm just saying. 16,000 of those 41,000 are from opioid pain medicines. That's your Percocet, Molly Percocet. Your Vicodin. Yeah, all them fucking companies that are fucking buying them fucking politicians. Yeah, that's it. Yep, those are the ones. Yeah. Yeah. Those are the ones. Just saying. I'm just saying. Those are the ones. Almost 17,000 of those are opioids. It is what it is. I'm gonna wait till that little slide change.
Joe Biden and all the rest of the anti-gun politicians swear HRA won't have a gun registry. So this means one of two things. Either they're wanting Congress to pass a bill that the U.S. Justice Department determined years ago would do nothing, or the bill is just a precursor to an inevitable national gun registry. I'm going to go with the latter because this is what they do. Everyone knows we're not going to completely stop mass shootings, but these mass shootings give these anti-gun politicians like Joe Biden the perfect excuse to sell the American people more gun control.
We have to act. We should also ban assault weapons in the process.
Today it's banned so-called assault weapons, but because over 80% of gun deaths in this country are committed with handguns, the next mass shooting will then be, let's ban handguns. And this will continue until there is no Second Amendment. They take a little piece at a time, wait a few years, then say it didn't work. So we need to do another thing and take a little piece at a time and then wait for the next tragedy, say it didn't work, then take another little piece. It's time to put a stop to this mess. Stop letting them use fear to get you to give up your freedoms. In 1835 in Texas, soon after...
That's it. He summed it up right there. Don't give up your freedoms because of fear. Have the fucking cojones to actually address the problem. Now look at this. Tobacco use. 529,000 deaths. Damn it. I don't know why I just did that. Shit. You know what? I'm going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Because then that way I know I can see what I need to see. Yeah, let's do this. Yep. Yeah, all right, look, let's do this. And then I can see it better this way. So we just went over the drug overdoses. Yeah, let me get rid of that. And I'll get rid of that one too. All right, now let me pull up this other one because this one is really good. Really good. There we go. Boom. So now you look at tobacco use. How many people die per year? This is how many people are dying from these certain things per year. Tobacco use. 529,000 people die from tobacco use. There's no ban on cigarettes. There's no ban on Black and Miles. There's no ban on vaping. There's no ban on any of that shit. Medical errors, 195,000. There's no ban on doctors. There's no ban on surgery. Is there? Unintentional injuries, 118,000. There's no ban on alcohol abuse. 100,000, 107,000 people die every year from alcohol abuse. There's no ban on Hennessy. There's no ban on Ciroc. Motor vehicle accidents, 34,000. There's no ban on cars. Unintentional poisoning, 31,000. There's no ban on poison. We got to get rid of all this poison that's out here, y'all. That's unintentional, not the motherfuckers that's doing it on purpose, like the bitch from Flowers in the Attic putting the arsenic on the cookies. This is unintentional. 25,000 from drug abuse. Unintentional falls, 24,000. Non-firearm homicides, 16,000. Firearm homicides, 11,000. You know why that number's so low? Because they took out the suicides. Because the suicide rate, it's even higher. It's higher. You see that? It's higher. Look at homicide, which is right at about 15,000, a little bit under 15,000. Look at suicide, which is right at about 24,000. So that whole 15, that 35,000, 36,000 motherfuckers that die every year from guns, you see how many of that is suicide? And I know it's insane. You're right, Amanda. I know it's insane from this past year just because of all of the lockdown shit. All of the shit with COVID. Do you understand what they're saying, what you're actually looking at, and what they're trying to tell you? And this is how I know that it's a conspiracy to actually just disarm all of us. Because it's such a small number with rifles. Why go for those first? You know why? Because those are the most lethal against an army. Those are the most efficient against a government. That's why. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do to us, and for us to not have any fucking way to fight back. This is where they start. And just like Coleon said, they're going to start with the AR-15s, and then they'll move right into handguns. Because if I can get a gun registry now, I'll know what's out there, I'll know who has them, and we can go get the rest. And look at it like this. Would every gun possibly be registered? Probably not. But if it's 400 over, if it's an estimate, 420 million that's out here, what kind of blow would it be for the government if they could get half of that? 3/4 of that. 420 million guns, if we could get 300 million of them, that's a feather in the cap. Now we can methodically work through the rest. Do you understand that? That's why it's the time to draw the line is now. The time to wake up and be informed is now. The time to say, hey, you're not making any sense and the shit you're trying to do is unconstitutional. It's now. And I know that a lot of people are afraid. I understand that. But just because you're afraid does not mean that you give up your freedoms. That's the problem. We did that shit back with 9/11. And that's why they came up with the Patriot Act and all that other shit. And that's how all of this, we can listen in on whatever the fuck you got going on, and it ain't against the law. We can infiltrate and see what you got going on, where you're going in your browser. That's why all of that shit was okayed, because we were afraid. It's like this. It's okay to have fear. You just have to make that fear be something that actually propels you to actually figure out why you're afraid, so you won't be afraid anymore. Does everybody in this country need to have a gun? No. But those that do should be able to have as many as they want and should be able to get them whenever they want. Because it's their right, not a privilege. That's why. Somebody asked me, let me go back so I can make sure I address that question. If you got any other questions, go ahead and shoot them to me now. Where was it? He says, Calvin Dickerson said, Brian, if you were a politician, what would you change? What I would change as a politician is that I would want people to be, if this would be my political philosophy, you can do and say whatever you want, as long as you're not physically hurting someone else. That would be my foundation as a politician. Somebody wants to change something, that's going to be the first thing out of them. Is it physically hurting someone? Well, they're made to feel marginalized and they're not. Nope. Is it physically hurting someone? Well, no. Then they should be free to do it. Well, they're hurting themselves. How? They're giving themselves cancer by smoking cigarettes. Okay, then we're going to get rid of cigarettes. We're going to get rid of alcohol. We're going to get rid of... That's the path we're going down. I was just telling my brother Eric this the other day. I said, bro, the thing is this. When you talk about the idea of America, America is an idea. And that idea is literally a tapestry, or a blanket, if you will, that's woven with the ideas and the laws that we have. The Constitution is the very fabric of our country. It is the thread that our country is woven with. And the reason why is because that is freedom in itself. That's all America is. It's just an idea of freedom. And so when you begin to pull at that very fabric, for whatever reason, most of the time now is because you're in your feelings. Pulling at that very fabric, you're unraveling the idea. You're unraveling our country. You're unraveling that because of how you feel. If you put on a sweater and that sweater has a thread hanging from it and you don't want to wear it and you don't like it no more, are you going to unravel it, or are you just going to take it off? You put on some pants that you don't like them. You want to get rid of these pants. Do you unravel the pants? Your drawers got a hole in it. Do you unravel the drawers and take them apart by thread by thread? What do you do if you have on something that you don't want to wear anymore, you don't like it, or it gets messed up? You take it off and you put something else on. And you either throw those clothes away or you give them to someone else. Make sure y'all click that like button, please. I forgot, I ain't said that shit all night. Click the like button and the share button and the subscribe button, please. But the reason why you do that is because if it's something that you don't like, then you can just throw it away. You don't like the way America's being ran? There's a process to vote. There's a process through law and order to change those things. And if that ain't enough for you, you can always skedaddle. You can hop your ass on a plane, a boat, and you can get the fuck out of here. But what you don't get to do, you don't get to take everybody else's sweater because you don't like sweaters no more. Or because you had a bad experience with a sweater, so now I'm taking all sweaters. You don't get to do that. And that's the problem with the people of today. You don't like what I'm saying on YouTube? Fine, don't click on it. You don't like what I'm saying on my radio show? Fine, don't listen to it. You don't like what I'm saying on TV? Fine, don't watch it. It's that simple. Nobody's forcing you to watch those things that you may not like. Just don't watch them. Quite simple. Quite simple. Somebody else said, I think Calvin came back and asked this question. He said, if you were the president, what would you do to make everyone happy? What I would do if I was the president, number one, I would find out what it is that I would start. Here's what I would do. Let's say I'm president. I'm president of the United States. One of the first things that I would want to do is I would want my governors to talk to their people and to say, hey, I'm the president. I'm giving all of the governors, I'm giving you guys 45 days to meet with your constituents, your senators, and your people, and to just get the issues that your people have, your top 5 issues that you all have. And then we're going to come together. I want to sit down with all of the governors and I want to hear those issues. And we're going to do this live. That's what I would do. I'm the president. That's what I would do. That way, all of the people would go to their governors and say, hey, this is all the shit I want. This is my wish list. This is what I got a problem with. Fine. Then we would come and we would sit down and I would literally make a list of I would go to every governor. What's your 5? Boom, 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 boom. We write it down. Those things that are the same, we ain't going to keep putting up there. And then I would take those things that we have and I would take out of that list, I would take those 5 things that are the most common and I would make that my to-do list along with my other duties. And I would update the people every 3 to 6 months on where we're at with rectifying those issues. That's the kind of president I would be. All that getting shit done. I want to get shit done and I want to get shit done for the people. I want to do what makes sense for the people. So if it's infrastructure that you're having a problem with, if it's upgrading your power grid like it is in Texas, then that's something we need to address. And that's something that will go into a fucking COVID bill instead of fucking $25 million for transgender research in Pakistan, $500 million to go to Central America for whatever the fuck they doing. Those are the things that I would like to do. That's how I would say, hey, call it what you want. All the other shit I got to do. Here's my list of the things that I'm actually working on for the people. So when I do run again in 4 years, I can say, hey, here's what you guys brought me as Americans. Here's what I did to fix those things. Border security. I finished the wall. That's what I would do. Those are the things that I would do to say, hey, this is what we're doing. Resources for mental health. Yes. I would look and see where we have the highest concentration of our people that are struggling. And I would put some government funded with the state funded, government and state funded mental institutions in those areas. And I'm talking full service, beds and all, crazy houses, if you want to call them that. That's what I would do. All right, let me see. Let me go down here and vote for me, Brian Redmond, in what's this, 2024, 2028, 2032, probably when I can run. Yeah. But I got to take all this shit down off of YouTube first. He said, Brian, damn Bigfoot said, Brian, do you think that they are trying to make it so only rich people would be able to afford guns? Absolutely. If I'm gonna make you have to pay for, because all this registration shit, a registry ain't free. You got to pay to register. Then you got to pay to have gun insurance for every gun. $800 a year for every gun that you got, and you got to pay for the registration of that gun, not to mention the taxes you paying on that gun when you first buy it, and the initial cost of that gun, absolutely, it's going to force a lot of people who cannot afford to do that and pay that every year to where they'd be like, man, I can't afford to have a gun. Think about the people that you know that drive around with a car with no insurance on it. I did for several years. I was that broke to where I did not have enough for insurance on my car to where it lapsed. Still had to pay a car note. Still had to buy gas. Fucked around and did not have insurance. And then I had it so long, I got so comfortable with it, with the dysfunction of not having the shit. I had an accident in the car and couldn't do shit with it. I was driving a fucking car with a big ass motherfucking dent on the side of the motherfucker where the whole entire door and shit was smashed the fuck in. That's what I was doing because I just couldn't afford it. And I made the choice. All bone myself. I accept full responsibility for it. It was stupid as fuck to do it, but I did it. That shit happens. If you look at gun ownership by state of Texas, Texas ranks number 1 with over 700,000, followed by Florida with over 400,000. And here's the thing too. Have you all noticed that Florida, Texas, and Arizona over the past 5 years have been like the most flocked to states? Florida really just took off just because of the COVID shit. But Texas, Arizona, everybody and their mama is moving to Arizona, Florida, and Texas. Arizona, Florida, and Texas are some of the most freedom-fighting fucking states in the fucking union. Florida and Texas, no state tax. That matters, especially the rich motherfuckers. It matters to me too. Shit, I like not paying no fucking state tax. So many people are flocking, and you know where a lot of these people are coming from, don't you? California and New York. Mass exodus. So they done fucked up California so much that the people from California are now moving to Texas, and now they're trying to turn Texas into California. What's that slogan they say? Don't California my Texas. The same way that y'all was voting in California, don't bring that shit down here to Texas. That's one of the reasons why I came to Texas, because I didn't like the way shit was being ran up in fucking Michigan and in fucking Chicago. This is bullshit. The motherfuckers up in Michigan had that driver's responsibility fee. They giving your ass, you get a fucking ticket, you pay the ticket, then you got to pay a driver responsibility fee, $200. How fucking unconstitutional is that? And they just stopped that shit like maybe a year or two ago. Went on for fucking eons. You get a ticket, I'm speeding, run a red light or whatever the fuck. Ticket is $75. I pay my ticket. After I pay my ticket, I got to pay a $200 driver responsibility fee. If that ain't a fuck, what is that? What is a driver responsibility fee? It's just another way to fuck you and take your money. I told them people that shit. I said, you know this is pimping, right? You know this is pimping. You're literally fucking me over. You're making me pay for my crime. I get it. I broke the law. I pay. But then you're telling me because you broke the law, we're going to tax you for breaking the law on top of the penalty that we just charged you for breaking the law. What the fuck kind of shit is that? Just like in Chicago, they got the red light cameras everywhere. And you know where the red light cameras majority were? Majority of them were in the hood. So that means that the aldermen in those areas were okay and signed off on these fucking companies setting up cameras in our fucking areas so that the fucking city can make more money off of the backs of the poor motherfuckers. because them cameras wasn't in the rich neighborhood. There was far and few and in between. You catch one on a busy street here or there, but they were flooded in, disproportionately put in the hood. Who drives in the hood? Niggas from the hood. That's it. They had that shit here in Texas, but by the time I got here, that shit was illegal. They were like, no, we done with that. Texas, fuck yeah. That's the difference. It's like ain't no country perfect. Ain't no state perfect. But there are states that have at least some type of make sense fucking rules here to where, okay, we ain't just gonna gouge you. Property taxes like a motherfucker going up high as hell here in Texas. Especially in the DFW. Property taxes going up because there's so many people flocking here. It's so many people moving here that the fucking building of the homes and the apartment complex and all that shit is at an all-time high. They can't build these motherfuckers fast enough. And with that, when shit like that happens, property tax tends to usually does increase. But you got motherfuckers in Austin bursting at the seams. Austin, you know what Austin is known for now? Bad traffic. That's how many motherfuckers are there. Houston, bad traffic. That's how many motherfuckers are there. Anytime somebody says something about Austin, that's the first thing. Oh, the traffic. Oh my God. Yeah, it's nice there, but see, look at Amanda. She like traffic. I get it, but the thing is, you have to look at it and say, well, why is that? It's because of the way that the people are being treated. They're being taxed. They're being bullied by their own fucking politicians. Even here in the Dallas area, it's so much fucking construction going on. It's insane. And I'm not just talking about homes and shit. I'm talking about roads. They tearing down and rebuilding roads all over Dallas. All over. So it's like that's just what it is. And it's a clear indicator to show you how things are being ran. That far left liberal shit don't work. That liberal damn near socialism shit don't fucking work. You have to find a medium. Find some middle ground. There are some things that are cool, some things that aren't. There are some resources we could probably fund, and some resources that we can't. It's some shit we should probably spend a little bit more money on. There's some shit we should maybe pull back some money on. And defunding the police ain't one of them. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. Let's see, what else did somebody else say? I saw something else in here. If you look at the gun ownership, yeah, we talked about that. They can stop hate speech by chopping off your tongues as well, right? I think in the future they were trying to make concealed carry cost $10,000 every 3 years. Man. I think that was it. Somebody else had something in there, let me know. But I think that's it. Yep. I'm trying to look. There's a lot of shit going on. I'm looking at like 4 different screens, but I'm just saying, it's like this, man. We have to be able to challenge each other, because we talk about what's happening to us with politics. It's about talking to each other about what we're doing and what we're not doing first, so that we can hold these politicians accountable. We have to start disseminating the information. We have to start opening people's minds up to fucking facts. We have to. We have to start saying, hey, wait a minute, man. That's not true. Hey, what you just said, I get what the point you're trying to make, but that's not true. That's why when I did this show, because people have been asking me about doing a show talking about these fucking bills and all this shit for a while. And I said, well, I wanted to do it, definitely. But I said, no, I need to make sure that I got my shit together first, because I didn't want to just talk about my opinion and how I felt about it. I wanted to do that. and back it up with some facts, back it up with some statistical data, so that I can show people when you are having a conversation about gun control, when you are having a conversation about these gun laws they're trying to pass, you can actually point to a fucking source that has statistical data in it and say, here it is, dude. You can go on your phone and hit the same websites that I hit and say, here it is, dude. So you do realize that these motherfuckers, man, people shouldn't have AR-15s. You do realize that AR-15s have killed less than 300 people. Man, that ain't true. Here you go. Now I'm lying. Now I'm lying. Biden is just trying to do what he did back in 94 to 2004. You do know that what he did back then didn't work. No, he did. He said he took it on he won. Here's the data from the Department of Justice. So they lying? They lying now? Is that what you're saying? That's what we need to get to. We need to be in a position to where when you're arguing with somebody, having a discussion with somebody, even if you're just shooting the shit, smoking a cigar, drinking some wine, which is one of my favorite things. When you're doing that, have facts. Have your feelings, have your opinions, but support it with facts. Because that's what it's all about. Let these people see, man, this shit I'm talking is my opinion, but my opinion, my view, and the points I'm making are supported by truth, facts, and logic. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. That's what it's about. When you want to argue a point, you need to argue it from that perspective. Do y'all, I mean, and just to give my brother just even more credit to what he does and how he does it. Y'all know that's why this nigga don't lose. I can't believe that he's been doing this shit all these years and people still haven't figured this shit out yet. That's why he doesn't lose. Because he's giving you facts. He's giving you truth. He's giving you logic. That's it. That's it. He admits his own indiscretions. He'll tell you, yeah, I fuck up and I do this shit too, but this is the right thing to do. And here's why. No, you got to see it from this. You got to see it from... Yeah, but here's the data that shows why it's this way. Here's the actual footage of what I'm saying that happens. Yeah, but see, you got to... Dude. That's how you make a point. That's how you be righteous. That's how you stand on truth. That's how you actually say, hey, this is what I'm saying, and this is why I'm saying it. Anytime you just saying some other shit, then you just literally doing that. I'm just saying some other shit. It's just like what we talked about. Do y'all remember when we was talking about, me and Tom was going back and forth about the GOAT as far as quarterbacks, Joe Montana and fucking Tom Brady? I love me some Joe Montana. Joe Montana's my boy. I watched him. I grew up with him. The 49ers was one of my favorite teams of all time. Jerry Rice, arguably one of the best, greatest 3 football players, period. Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, Lawrence Taylor are arguably 3 of the greatest football players of all time. But I can't knock this nigga Tom Brady having fucking 7 rings. He is the GOAT. Now, if I want to argue say who I like the most, who I prefer, that's something totally different. You look at what this motherfucker has done as a quarterback with that one team and what he just did this year with Tampa. You can't tell me another motherfucking quarterback that's done that. He is the GOAT. Just like Michael Jordan. You look at that nigga with them 6 rings he got, you can't show me another motherfucker that dominated in 2 3-peats like he did. He's the GOAT. And until somebody comes along and pulls off 7 rings like Tom Brady did, you're not even in the discussion. Until LeBron James shows me 2 3-peats where he completely dominated and was clearly the best player on the fucking planet, in those 2-3 peats, I don't want to hear shit about this nigga being the GOAT. I don't. You have not a leg to stand on, sir. I can't stand motherfucking Aaron Rodgers because he's a fucking Green Bay Packer. One of the best to ever do it. Couldn't stand Brett Favre. One of the best to ever do it. I don't like the goddamn Pistons. Goddamn Isaiah Thomas. One of the best to ever do it. That's it. Look at the facts. Look at the statistics. Just because somebody, well, he got all of the records. He gonna have all the records. He is the great. No, motherfucker, if you let me play for 45 years, motherfucker, I might have all the records too. The fuck are you talking about? That's why I always say, anytime you talk about a GOAT, you can talk about a player being the best to ever do it. When you're talking about a GOAT, the greatest of all time, you have to factor in their level of dominance. That matters. People don't want to count that, but it matters. This motherfucker being the most, Shaquille O'Neal couldn't shoot a goddamn free throw. Arguably, one of the greatest centers, top 3 in my opinion, because of his level of dominance. That motherfucker was unstoppable. Just saying. You have to account for that. When you're talking about the greatest of all time, you have to use that particular piece of data. Well, how did this motherfucker dominate? Was he the best in the game? People have said that KD was better than LeBron in several seasons. When did that happen with Mike? And Mike had some of the rawest niggas in basketball. Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant. Ron Harper in his heyday. Reggie Miller. Was there any of them where you say, yeah, he better than him, dog? I can't remember. I can't remember a time when I'd be like, damn, I don't know, man. Mitch Richmond, he better than Mike this year. No, nigga. Man, that Ray Allen, man, he got Mike faded this year. No, nigga. As long as MJ, when he started winning, was lacing them up, nigga, wasn't nobody else that was better than him. Gary Payton, right. Gary Payton, boy, that motherfucker cold. He was never better than Mike. You can look at that season with KD and be like, yeah, KD better than LeBron this year. LeBron is not the best player in the NBA. This nigga KD is that deal. That's what it was. His level of dominance matters. LeBron didn't want no part of KD in that series. I'm just saying. Let me get off this shit. Let me wrap this up. Hey, look. All I'm saying is this, people. When you're having this conversation with other people, use facts. Use the actual numbers that are available. Research this shit and show motherfuckers what time it is. And show that this is potentially a problem for all Americans. Because if it comes to, and this is what I'll end with. Right now, today, it's guns. Tomorrow, it's going to be your internet. The day after that, it's going to be your social media. The day after that, it's going to be what you can and can't say, period. Out in public, on the phone, with your friends. That's what this is going. This is the rabbit hole that's going down this way. There are a group of people, these politicians, that honestly and truly believe they know what's best for you. And because they're in that position, they should be able to tell you what you need, what you can have, what you can do, and when you can do it. And don't you dare question them about what they're doing. How about looking at Gavin Newsom? How about looking at Cuomo? two great examples, two governors, two people that are in charge of their entire fucking state, doing what the fuck they want to do while they're telling you you can't do that very thing that they're doing. Facts. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that somebody will watch this and at least begin to think for themselves. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Don't tell me what I can have and what I can't have to protect my life and those that I love. My family is everything to me. My legacy is everything to me. You or no one else should be able to tell me what I can and can't use to protect that very thing that I have built and that I cherish more than life itself. If we're not regulating cars, if we're not regulating cigarettes, if we're not regulating slip and falls, we damn sure shouldn't be trying to regulate a God-given right to every person that is born here in this country. Leave this shit alone. I should be able to have as many guns as I want, and I should be able to have what guns I can afford. That's it, and that's all. I am Brian Redmond. This is the Relationship Rehab and the United Guns of America. I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that donated tonight, and then we're going to giddy on up out of here. I want to give a shout out to my man, Illa Dre. Thank you so much for your donation, sir. I can actually play a little music while we're doing this. Yeah, let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can do that.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Illa Dre. Hit your boy up with $5. He says for great content. Thank you, sir. Also, my man, Cool G74 hit your boy off with $10. That's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. My man Jay Turk hit your boy off with $10. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. And my man Derek J Night Train hit your boy off with $50. Saturday evening is good. Sent my number there. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Got you. All right, I got you, man. We'll get that taken care of. We're gonna get her done. I look forward to that, man. Let's see who else. Give a shout out to my man JEC. Hit your boy with, he said JC from the chat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hit your boy with $10. That's what's up. And my man Chris Sykes, he hit your boy with $5. He says thanks for calling out Lion Biden, brother. Hey man, I've been holding off on him for so long. I can't wait till May 1st so I can do my first 100-day review. And my man Mega Mortis hit your boy with $50. He says for an amazing show. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. That's what's up. And let's see who else I got here. My man Timothy McCaver. There we go. Timothy McCaver hit your boy for $3. He says, much love, brother. Keep speaking your truth. I ain't speaking my truth. I'm speaking the truth. Thank you. Appreciate the donation. And my man, oh yeah, this is a good hood name here, boy. I ain't gonna say your name, Bread and Circus. I ain't gonna say that hood ass name, but I love it. Bread and Circus. I don't know if you want me to say his name, so I'm gonna hold on to it. Hit your boy with $5. He says, Bread and Circus Entertainment. Thank you. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you. Got that hood ass name, boy. Yes, sir. And my brother Bolo hit the boy off with $7. I appreciate you, Bo. That's what's up. Hey man, I'm gonna check the young PayPal side of the game and we're gonna get you on up out of here. You guys watching this on the replays, please click the like, please click the subscribe, and leave me your comments. Tell me what you think. If you got any other questions or anything, definitely let me know, because we can always have a conversation about it. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see here. I got my man Tim hit me up again. He said keep speaking the truth. All right, I see you over here on the PayPal side. Let's see who else. Eric Feller hit your boy off with 1912. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Deluxe 24/7. I appreciate you. And let's see who else. Oh wait, there's another one from Keep Doing What You. What is that? Teray Diara. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate the channel. Great content. Love from a brother from France. That's what's up. I'm international, y'all. I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate every donation. $5, $2, $3, $100. I appreciate them. $500. I appreciate them. Them $100. I appreciate them. Them $50. I appreciate them. And all the dollars. I appreciate them. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate everybody that took the time out to watch this show. Hey, if you missed the show, you can always catch it on the replay. Go on ahead, Duke and Daisy. Go ahead and hit it on the replay and check it out. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I love you guys. Y'all have a good night. Peace. And I am out.
What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff. Anything that's happening, I'm willing to have a conversation about it. So come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.